Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Fatima Rezaie, and I'm joined by my colleague, Will Watkins. We are here to present the work that we've been doing for the past 5 months with the Uncharted team through the Barton Institute Civico-Social Enterprise Fellowship Program.
The purpose of our project was initially to provide greater understanding of collective impact initiatives in order to help Uncharted develop their own. However, with the onset of the COVID-19 crisis, the focus of our work shifted. We conducted research on the changing landscape of the philanthropic and social sector in the context of the crisis. As Uncharted began to undergo a transition, our final deliverable aimed to provide potential recommendations of projects for the experimentation arm of their organization. You can see by the deliverables listed on the slide how our work shifted. We began by diving deep into Uncharted's business model and programs, research collective impact initiatives, and then pivoted to our COVID-19 focused research and the final deliverable supporting Uncharted's transition.
Through our work on COVID-19 response and recovery research, we talked with multiple industry experts, both from the for-profit and nonprofit world, to hear their thoughts on COVID and how their organizations were impacted and how they were moving forward. So we came across multiple findings, but the three that we have selected were consistently mentioned in all of our conversations. One, crises are a terrible thing to waste. This was an opportunity, kind of like a forced pause that required organizations to think about their relevance and their value proposition moving forward. It also forced organizations to adapt and create meaningful change in the transition. It was an opportunity for intermediary organizations like Uncharted to play a prominent role in the recovery phase by drawing on their strengths. Unfortunately, not all organizations were able to transition into the new environment, sort of to say. So Uncharted and other organizations who have an extensive experience and connections and resources can help train these organizations and provide them with skills to move forward. They can also help create more fluid business model or teach the language of social impact, which for some for-profit organizations or industries, this was not something that they were considering before. Diversity, equity, and inclusion came to be an important point for all of the individuals that we talked with, and was seen as an important part of all conversations moving forward. This was an opportunity to create meaningful experiences and opportunities for the disadvantaged communities to thrive in a more inclusive economy post this recession and crisis.
Okay. In order to support Uncharted as it's been undergoing a transition, we conducted a survey among the Uncharted team in order to gather insights into their thinking about the future of Uncharted. We asked the listed questions. In response to the survey, the team provided valuable insights into Uncharted's strengths and challenges moving forward. Additionally, a variety of innovative and exciting projects were proposed. Some key themes that stood out to us included broad support for the platform model and its potential strengths. However, there were some concerns about communication and going through the transition to that model. There was also broad support for diversity, equity, and inclusion projects focused on people of color and women. And additionally, there was broad support for an increased focus on problems rather than just solutions, and making an effort to fall in love with problems and ideate solutions. Additionally, there is support for Uncharted developing increased connection to the community that they work within. The wordle on the side shows many of the words that stood out from the team's responses, if you would like to take a closer look at that. Fatima will provide greater details on how these themes contributed to our SWOT analysis.
So we conducted a SWOT analysis for the organization as a whole, including the findings that we had from both the survey and a lean canvas exercise that we did with the team. So for the strengths, we, through our personal experience with working with the team over the past several months, we've noticed there is a strong team, a strong culture and leadership in the organization. Uncharted has an extensive network and connection with funders and mentors and entrepreneurs. They've also, as part of COVID-19, recently shifted to a new platform model, which is meant to increase agility, efficiency, client customization, team collaboration and coordination, among other noted strengths of this model. However, we realize that communication is viewed as essential to the success of this platform model, and there were concerns among the team that, how will communication be affected and the system will function across the team in this model. So that's one. There is also a lack of clarity on among the team over Uncharted's intended impact and customer segment. While they've done some work to develop metrics to measure the organization's impact, there continues to be a lack of agreement on which metrics are most important and truly captures Uncharted's value added. And as a result of COVID-19, we know a lot of organizations were financially impacted. And so a more sustainable financial model is also needed moving forward. The COVID-19 created a spur of entrepreneurship and possibilities of new partnerships and collaborations, something that Uncharted could use to build on moving forward. There is also a strong desire for diversity, equity, and inclusive initiatives, and this is something that will require commitment and intentionality and part of Uncharted. And finally, the programs, there was a strong desire for programs to accelerate individuals so that they can create more meaningful and direct impact within their community. We saw threats as challenges external to the organization, and as we are aware, both COVID-19, the election year, the ongoing protests impacts how organizations will operate and how this creates a more unstable fundraising environment as well.
Okay, as Uncharted moves forward, it is important to consider all of the aforementioned factors, both internally and externally. In order to scrutinize potential projects of the experimentation arm, we provided a number of questions to consider during the project selection period. These questions are intended to support Uncharted in maximizing its impact. As Uncharted navigates transitioning to a 4-day work week, it needs to maintain focus on what is essential. When undertaking experiments, it is important to have clear impact goals and methods for testing success. The last question is meant to encourage deeper level justification of the project. The team should think about what makes the project innovative or experimental, how it contributes to systems change, and aligns with Uncharted's mission. Feel free to take a moment to look closer at the questions if you would like. We have 3 potential projects that we propose Uncharted consider for its experimentation arm. We aimed to select projects that met current needs, built on Uncharted's strengths, addressed weaknesses, and aligned with the appetite of funders. These projects are a diversity, equity, and inclusion project working with people of color and women-led ventures. There's a high need for this right now. Women and people of color have been disproportionately affected by COVID-19, the economic crisis, police violence. Given the current context, There is an increased focus among funders to support this type of project. Additionally, there is broad support across the team. It may be worth exploring a reverse PRI for this project, given the push among the public for greater control to be given to communities over how money is used. Second project is a pilot impact evaluation project attempting to measure Uncharted's ability to transform networks. Our research showed that Uncharted's network is one of its greatest strengths and seen among staff as one of the most valuable contributions to ventures. However, there is a lack of clarity over how to measure this impact. It would be valuable to develop a method for measuring the network impact and testing it. By starting small, Uncharted could learn, iterate, and build out this measurement method to apply to projects across the organization. Third and final project would be focused on accelerating individuals and community leaders. There was a focus across the team on a need and opportunity to focus on individuals within the community. This project presents an opportunity for Uncharted to develop deeper community connections. Additionally, there is a currently strong support and public energy to support community leaders, especially people of color. The government is thinking about ways to improve community engagement given the current tensions. This may present an opportunity for a government partnership that could contribute to improving community relations and economic recovery. Thank you for your time. We hope this has been insightful. It has been a pleasure working with Uncharted over the last several months. We are grateful to the Barton Institute and Uncharted for the incredible opportunity. The fellowship has been an amazing learning and professional development experience.